Pakistan, a land of great diversity. Located in Central Asia, with Afghanistan, Iran bordering on the west, China on the north, and India on the east, Pakistan is home to over 163 million people, representing numerous ethnic groups and over 20 different languages. From bustling cities to quiet villages, from ancient monuments to new buildings, from mountainous, earthquake-prone terrain to lush village farms bursting with rice harvest, from vehicles on fast motorways to horse-drawn tangas in the villages and cities. Pakistan is a land of great historical and cultural wealth. From this heritage emerges the fabric of Pakistan's hand-knotted Oriental rug tradition. This craft has changed very little over the course of centuries. Rugs are still crafted with the tools and skills passed down through the generations. A quality rug is produced with quality materials, quality dyes, and skilled adult hands. A process that is supported by paying fair wages to the artisans. A commitment to fair wages is at the heart of Jax's Oriental Rugs, a Pakistani job creation program involving over 700 families from over 100 villages. Jax's Oriental Rugs provides a fair living wage to its artisans, supports individual creativity and artistry, and provides economic, social, and educational assistance in the villages where it works. This program revives the ancient art of Oriental rug production by giving these skilled artisans complete artistic creativity over crafting their one-of-a-kind pieces in their homes. Home-based rug knotting fosters a perfect situation for both men and women in the villages to have equal access to fair living wage. It also supports village development as artisans live in their home communities and develop their home communities. A quality rug still takes time. Time that, if fairly compensated, produces exquisite results. Today, a variety of rugs are being produced in the villages of Pakistan, from the hand-spun wool natural dye rugs to the exquisitely detailed Persians. Although such a variety of carpets are being produced, they are all produced with the same basic techniques. Wool rich in lanolin is shorn primarily from domestically raised Dumba sheep, preserving the shepherding culture throughout Pakistan. This sheep carries an extra fat pack on its tail, adding the extra lanolin needed for good wool. The wool then goes for cleaning and spinning. For some rugs, the wool is cleaned, carded, and spun by machine, creating a fine, even yarn as it passes through the various spinning machines. For some tribal rugs, this process is done by hand, with the spinning either being done by a drop spindle or a spinning wheel. This is a very labor-intensive process, creating a more nubbly yarn. The wool then goes for dyeing. Boiled in large copper pots, heated mostly by natural gas, 2 bundles of wool take approximately 1.5 to 3 hours to dye. Wool is primarily dyed with steadfast synthetic dyes, giving artisans a varied palette of colors to work with. In recent years, these artisans have been working more with natural dyes. Consistent dyeing temperatures, high-quality dyes, and natural fixatives like salt are producing durable, fade-proof results. Materials like walnut shells, pomegranate skins, tree barks, orange peels, insect bodies, and plant roots fill the ingredient lists of many natural dye recipes. Natural dyes are quite labor-intensive, as it takes a lot of time to gather and prepare enough of the raw materials to create the desired dyes. For example, to create this color, an artisan mixes together roasted pomegranate shells, walnut shells, and spark flowers, and cooks it for several hours until the dyed wool is properly prepared. Fair trade supports this return to natural dyeing by fairly compensating artisans for their increased labor in naturally dyed rugs. Designs are crafted both by skilled artisans as well as jointly with master designers. Most designs are inspired by things found in nature, in architecture, and from each artisan's ethnic heritage. A master designer first sketches a design onto graph paper with pencil, taking anywhere between a few days to a couple of weeks to complete. This artist apprentices for many years before becoming a master designer. Once graphed, the artisan then decides on color, carefully painting the design with watercolors, first to large expanses, and then the finer details. The design is then converted to a special script called talam. The talam reads like a large counted cross-stitch pattern, with each symbol representing a color with the appropriate number of knots written above it. Meanwhile, in the villages, the warp, the backbone of the rug, is set up. Usually done in the village square or house courtyard, the warp is constructed of cotton or wool thread. One warp usually takes 3 days to complete. These rugs are constructed on looms made from wood and steel pipes. Most of these rugs use a knot called a sena knot, or an asymmetrical knot. An expert knotter can knot around 40 knots per minute. A 9x12 Persian carpet at 500 knots per square inch takes 4 to 5 people working side by side 6 hours a day, approximately 1 year, 2 months to complete. A knotter can work either from the talam themselves or have it read to them. The talam sounds something like this: 2 copper, 5 red, 3 yellow, 2 black. Generally, one knotter calls for the entire loom, even when most artisans have the instructions written in front of them. Adults in the family work together on the looms. For example, a husband, wife, and the husband's brothers may work together on one rug. Once one row is completed, a weft thread is shuttled through the warp to secure that row. A comb-like tool called the panja is then used to press down the weft threads and to pack the knots to produce quality. These tools are as ancient as the skill itself. The completed row is then trimmed with scissors to keep an even pile. This is important for good washing. On average, most artisans work 5